Good afternoon, YouTuber subscribers and friends and like. It's Grant coming at you from Defiance, Ohio, Kroger's. It's Tuesday, October 11th, about 1 o'clock. I'm going to upload this today or tomorrow, so you have an update for this week. I really didn't do much this last week. I applied for jobs here locally in Defiance. I will say one thing. Defiance, Ohio has definitely made it on my return list. Whenever I'm in this area, this will be one of the towns that I decide to go to with it, when you're within a 20 or 40 mile radius or whatever, and you're choosing between what town to stop at on the interstate, etc. This would be one of those places that, like, same as like Stillwater, Oklahoma, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Lincoln, Nebraska, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Rapid City, South Dakota, Miles City, Montana, etc. This is definitely a return spot. I like it here in Defiance, Ohio. The name alone, Defiance. And then, except for the fact that it doesn't have really day labor, you can work through some churches here locally to get some cash if you had to that way, but there's no real actual day labor office, which I'd much rather go through. Because with a day labor office, like if I go to Labor Ready, there's a chance of getting solid work right out of that, where you transition into actually being employed by that company that Labor Ready originally sent you out to. And I need to come up with something stable job for about 4 months worth or something. Enough time to pay my regular bills, like my car payment and car insurance and all that every month, which I wasn't ever getting ahead on in Miles City. It was enough to stay even, but not ahead. So I don't plan on that changing. The way my spending money, I guess, changing anytime soon. You just go by your current habits of what you would do when you were working and so on. So I think it'd be about 4 months for the, just a second, for the, to get my Class C CDL out of Ohio, because I'm going to have to find an address to use, and then turn my South Dakota driver's license in for a regular Ohio driver's license into CDL and all that, get all that set up. That's going to take a little bit to do, because you have to have proof of mail going to a physical address and not just a P.O. box and stuff, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do that through Ohio. And I'm going to go to Toledo today, because Toledo happens to have a Labor Ready and a couple other day labor offices that this town doesn't have. I'm not a big fan of going to Toledo, a bigger city with lots of different suburbs and stuff, and the crime's higher and it's harder to get stuff done there. But it happens to have a day labor office, so there should be work. I plan on doing that and work at the labor office for a while and hopefully get a solid job through there for about 4 or 5 months worth at least. Maybe longer if it goes that longer. But the idea is to get enough money to gather up for an Ohio CDL and then $500 to start on the road with. But the other thing is, tax season comes at the end of February, and from working at Walmart, I paid, I think it was something close to $4,000 in taxes. So I should get around $2,000 worth of federal income tax return and state income tax return combined together back of that 10.5 months, I would hope. I mean, that's the general, how it has been in the background. Everything that I've worked, you pay into taxes, I get about half back. That's been the way it's been the last part of my life, so I wouldn't see how it'd be any different this time. So I'm planning on that anyway, and then going to expediting in the end of February, unless something comes along sooner than that. I'm going to keep my eyes out for some place that would help me out, like possibly a truck driving school for a straight truck, or something that would allow me to do the orientation and drive for them and then pay them back later. I may have to start in that way. I'm not a big fan of driving a truck, tractor trailer, or a straight truck. But if you got to do what you got to do to get in the business, and it may have to go that route, I'm not sure. But this is the update for this week. Just saying that Defiance, Ohio is definitely a repeat town. It made it on my return list of places that I like to have so much, or like to live at so much, that I would consider retiring here. 16,000 people and stuff. The only thing it does not have is a day labor office that's active anymore. They had a couple that were closed. But they have enough of other resources and everything else around town that's nice. So I have 56 miles to drive. Should take me about 58 minutes to get there at Sid's. It's roughly 60 miles out of Toledo, Ohio. So I'll be in Toledo tonight and working there this week. And most likely live there in a suburb of Toledo. I'm going to try to stay out of the main downtown part. Like and subscribe, leave comments. We'll catch you in a flip. Peace.